I started with a block out because that felt responsible. No reference, just the one in my thick skull, which is already a red flag. So I'm blocking out the body from memory, and it's going okay until I rotate it. And suddenly it looks like someone tried to sculpt a human after only hearing a description of one from a poor quality radio. At this point, I realized that sculpting from vibes alone is basically a controlled hallucination. Since this looks like a traffic cone got drunk on Halloween and tried cosplaying as a person. And here's the thing, without a real reference, your brain doesn't tell you when to stop. It just keeps saying, more. You can go bigger. And suddenly, you're sculpting thighs like you're terraforming a small moon. I checked the silhouette here and thought, yeah, that's definitely a character who could knock over a door frame by turning too fast. Elbows are where sculpting from memory really betrays you, because your brain thinks it remembers what an elbow looks like, but all it actually knows is it bends. And that is not enough information for this task. The tricky part in the head are the eyes. My brain is telling me make them big and expressive, but every time I do, she looks like she just got caught stealing souls at a local elderly center. The head, yeah, it's very stylized, I know. You can already hear someone typing, oh, the proportions are wrong. Yeah, good, they should be. Next up, ears. Now listen, yeah, I know, they're round. They basically look like two warm pancakes slapped to the side of her skull. This is intentional. And yes, I could add the inner details, but honestly, that feels like inviting unnecessary topology demons into the project. I don't want the character to only hear things, I want the character to receive AM radio signals. Alright? Here's the thing with the feet. Toes are dangerous. You start sculpting toes, and suddenly you're knee deep in references you have no place Googling, alright? So instead, I sculpted what I like to call the optimal animation foot. It's basically a smooth bean. This is like perfect for economy class. Look, I tried making toes once. You know what happens when you make toes on a stylized character? They transform into like a medieval goblin claws, or even worse, human feet. And we don't want that. Alright, the polish phase. This is the part where everything is done, but also somehow nothing gets done. At this stage, the mesh is like raw chicken. Yeah, technically, you could eat it, but you are better off putting a different type of meat in your mouth. The goal here is simple. Convince my brain this is good enough for a first pass and, to not restart the entire sculpt out of spite. That's danger of vibe-based sculpting. Your brain has concept art, but Blender, it needs geometry. And the conversion process here is like faxing a Renaissance painting through a microwave. The proportions are not realistic because I'm not sculpting a real person. I'm sculpting a concept, a myth, a cryptid of femininity. I did have a reference in my head, somewhere between a 1950s pinup girl and someone who could squat lift a refrigerator. I think I did pretty well. Instead of putting the reference image on my screen like any other sane person, I decided to rely on the blurry JPEG in my brain. A JPEG that has been compressed every time I saw something else I liked on Pinterest. This is not a workflow. This is a condition. So after about 2 hours of sculpting, 1 hour of questioning my life choices, and about 30 minutes of negotiating with the memory of the reference image in my head, this is what I got. She's not accurate, she's not even realistic, but she's absolutely a product of the unlicensed anatomy textbook. Stored right here. That's the creative error of the day. I'll go make another one tomorrow.